I'm actually quite excited about this episode of Retro Roundup.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good episode. I think Cheezy has been talking trash for the last few days about how good his games are. So, shall we get on with the show?
I was going to say, shall I start the intro now?
Well, I'm going to give it a go.
You're going to give it... Alright, go for it.
Give it another go. Welcome to Retro Roundup, the show where B2G Adam and Cheezy Biscuit...
Hello.
There you go. Spend £20 on games and chat about the haul.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Sounds like a plan.
I started last time, Adam, so I think by rules of things, I think maybe you should start this retro roundup.
Am I going to start this retro? Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, so first of all, actually, what I'd like to do is I'd like to say a big thank you for everybody that watched last month's episode. Big thank you to everyone liked, subscribed, commented. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Especially all the friends out there.
Much appreciated. So my first pick then is for the PlayStation 1. This is not going to shock you at all.
Okay.
It is...
Come on, please.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Okay, slightly better, I guess.
So we're going with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1.
So, follow on from last episode. Cool back.
Yeah, slightly expensive. Took £5 this one. It's boxed. The box is... The case is nice.
Yeah, it's not like cracked.
It is missing the instructions though, but it is a good. It's a nice case. It's boxed, It's a good game. So, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. As a little side note to this, which isn't really about this game, when I was digging through the retro in the little shop where I got this from, there was like some just bins on the floor that was like just anything in it was £1.
Oh, great.
So I actually picked up Formula 1 for the PlayStation 1 as well for £1. That went in a CD wallet.
Yeah.
And I dug out my copy of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1.
Okay.
That was actually in like a DVD case, I think. And rehoused it in the Formula 1 case. So now I have my copy of Tony Hawk's 1 in a nice PlayStation 1 case, complete with manual and inserts, and so I've kind of just built that copy of the game. So I can't remember how. I don't know whether the case got broke because I had everything. I had the back, the insert. It was a complete thing, and I'd obviously liking the game series. I'd kept it all quite
neat and tidy.
Yeah, well looked after.
Good idea, because that's one of my favourite things is opening it up and seeing all the bits and being able to sit back and read a manual and stuff. Because you don't get that with new games.
No.
Like we both bought No Man's Sky, and I know you didn't get on DVD.
Mine was even worse. Mine was digital. Mine doesn't even exist, let alone having a manual for it.
Yeah, all you get in this is like printed on the back of the cover is like system warnings and before using and epilepsy things.
Yeah, but have you seen the big? Have you seen like the expensive special edition version?
No, I haven't actually. I didn't know there was.
There's one that's really, really cool. That's like £200, and you get the ship. So I think it's the pre-order ship.
Oh right, yeah, that makes sense.
So there's the pre-order ship. You get that, and you get like a model and everything. But the actual, just the PlayStation 4 sort of standard edition type thing. Well, not standard. It's PlayStation 4 special edition. It comes with an art book, a steel case. And a little exclusive comic about the Gek, which is all right. It's got a nice bit of artwork in and bits and pieces, but compared to the old stuff, the fluff that you used to get in games, I think you kind of get more, or you used to get more in just a standard game than you now do in a special edition.
One of my favourite things I was telling you earlier is when you buy a retro game and you get one of those survey cards. Or Winner TV cards.
Yes.
I love them. I don't know why. One day I want to send off a whole bunch of them, like all of the ones I've collected, and see what happens. See if get any replies. probably get it sent back to me saying this address no longer exists and the building's just been demolished. That would be great. Yeah. Out of all the Tony Hawks you own, so 1, 2, and 3, I'm guessing.
Yep.
What's your favourite? What is your favourite? Is 2 going to be it, or?
It's a bit different. But it's a bit difficult because some. It's difficult because with every game, I mean, I think 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all arcadey, which is what I like. So I don't like the later ones where they become
a bit too realistic.
Yeah,
attempting to be at least.
Yeah, and then like with Tony Hawk's 2, I think it's Tony Hawk's 2. You've got the edition of the manual.
Yeah.
Which you, so it lets you link tricks together a bit more.
Yeah.
So it's kind of Tony Hawk's 1 is always going to be that one that I always kind of loved because it was the one that got me into the series.
So it's usually that one.
Tony Hawk's. And then when you start getting into it, like Tony Hawk's 2 gives you the manual and you start being able to like hand plant and do all the bits and pieces. I think the plants might be in Tony Hawk's 3. I don't know if they were in Tony Hawk's 2.
Fair enough.
But then with all that, you then get to Tony Hawk's 4, and then Tony Hawk's 4 sort of the last one on the PlayStation 2, I think, or one of the later ones on the PlayStation 2 anyway. But it's kind of getting to that point of the perfect, the better of the graphics and the more skills.
I see what you mean.
So it's a bit difficult, but I'd say 1. I'd say 1 would be my.
Say 1
favorite.
just because it started you off. This is always a good reason.
Yeah, nice and simple, very arcadey. So
right then, well, I'll go on to my next game. And
your first game, in fact.
Yeah, I feel like I'm starting off to a bit of a weak one because I've ordered all my games this time round in order of interest. So obviously the first one I'm going to talk about is going to be the most boring, and you've started off with an amazing one. So I'm concerned about my chances.
I'm a legend.
After all the shit talking,
all the trash talking, he's now backing down.
I'm still going to win.
Yes,
still going to win.
Really.
Anyway, first game, PlayStation 2, obviously, because collector.
Big PlayStation 2 collector, yeah.
Duel Masters Limited Edition. Right, now no one knows of Duel Masters because it kind of came out from like not really the ashes, but after the boom of Yu-Gi-Oh! It was one of those little card games that no one cared about.
Okay.
It was garbage. I didn't even like it, to be honest. I think I had a few cards where I bought like a pack thinking they were Yu-Gi-Ohs, or bought a big box from my car boot and got a few. But I saw it on the shelf at my local CX, or unnamed trade-in company. The sponsorship reasons. And I saw it and I picked it up because I was like, I know Duel Masters. That was a thing when I was a child. And it's the limited edition box, so it's got like kind of hollow. And I'm reading it. Apparently, it was meant to come with 10 of the trading cards, but being pre-owned.
Oh, right.
I know them.
It'd be nice to try and find them trading cards, though. You'd have to raid eBay for them.
Yeah, that might be an idea. But it's a coolish game because it's not based around the card game, really. At least I think so. I think there's a lot. You do actually see all your monsters in 3D, and they do actually fight. And I think that's because it was quite a small card game at this point that it was able for them to do.
Yeah.
It says in the back there's only 143, I think that means, because it says +5 monsters in total. So that's not too bad. And if you consider like spells, if they have them in this game. But I don't know. It was a cool game, limited edition, Wizards of the Coast. It's a good pick.
Oh, is it a Wizards game?
Yeah, because back in that day, Wizards released everything. Because they did Pokemon cards, they did loads of trash.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, the game itself is made by Atari, but it's obviously.
But they just printed the cards. So when did who prints Pokemon cards now then?
I don't know. I think they do it personally now.
Yeah.
I think they do it in-house. Well, in-house, air quotes. Let me just have a look. See about Duel Master cards. Yeah, the Wikipedia page. Publishers, Wizards of the Coast. Playtime, approximately 20 minutes. Came out in 2002 in Japan. And then 2004 in the States. So obviously probably about the same time. now had a bunch of releases, and then a whole bunch only released in Japan. A whole bunch of the sets. Oh shit! It looks like it might even still be going on in Japan. I don't know. But it seems like it's rather large for what I thought was a very small card game. Official website. Here we go. Got anything on it? Nah, it's just links. If you click on their official website and type in, it just links you straight to Wizards of the Coast for, Magic the Gathering. Oh wait, Duel Masters is there. What's this going to say? I won't even let me load the website. But yeah, it's a very old thing. And I didn't think it did much, to be honest. I think there might have been an anime, what have you. But there was lots of that going around back then, so it's not a surprise at all.
Sounds good.
The last post on their website was 2014. So that says something. Nice, yeah. But I thought I'd pick it up because it kind of relates to another game, and I got it at the same time, so I think it might have affected my choice on this one. But being limited edition case, the case is in a really nice condition, and the game works, which is always a plus. So I thought I'd pick it up. Yeah, that was a good one. Duel Masters, limited edition for the PlayStation 2. Yeah. So, Mr. Adam, V2G of it. What is your next game?
So my second game is a PlayStation 2 game.
Ooh. You're coming into my territory here.
Exactly, yeah. Big style. You know what, when I'm thinking of all the things that I want to get for Retro Roundup, a lot of them, in fact all of them at the moment, are games with nostalgia value.
Yeah.
So I have owned them in the past.
Yeah.
I didn't own a lot of PlayStation 2 games. I've gone through them all and I was like, dude, I just played the same few games over and over again.
Yeah, maybe that was the same for me. I'll go on to that in a later story, I expect.
But so my second game, PlayStation 2 game, it is Enter the Matrix.
Oh
yes. I absolutely love this game. It's the first of the Matrix games.
Yeah.
It follows Niobe on the logos.
Yeah.
So it's, you think, Matrix game, I've got to get that. Doesn't follow Neo at all. There's no Keanu Reeves. No, you're like, oh no. It's actually really, really good. I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the general opinion is of it, but I really, really liked it. You get to face off against agents that can't be killed. Usually there is something that you can kick them off, though. So I remember distinctly the very first one. It said agent run, and I was like, no. And then I ended up, after about 15 minutes of button bashing, just kicked him off the side of a building. So that dealt with him nicely. So, yeah, it wasn't...
wasn't like a big
It wasn't
deal.
completely impossible.
Yeah. Just very.
There's some nice little features in it. Some nice little mini games where you can hack the Matrix and unlock like the old-fashioned cheat codes and bits and pieces. And so, like the Matrix itself is like a little mini game inside it.
I see. It's cool, like affecting the world through what would essentially be a game anyway, because it is a game if you think about it, the Matrix.
Yeah, and it kind of falls as well between. I think it is between the Matrix 1 and the Matrix Revolution or Reloaded, whichever the second one was. It kind of falls in between the two movies, the game does, I think. So it follows like some of the stuff they talked about, or where the logos assisted other characters within the Matrix, because obviously there's a lot going off in that film. And it's more of a supportive content, a bit like the Animatrix was. So if you watch the Animatrix, then you saw the last flight of the Osiris. You saw I can't remember the kid's name. The kid that actually freed himself from the Matrix. He unplugged himself.
Yeah.
He's the one that always chases Neo around Zion.
Okay. I'm not much of a Matrix man, so a lot of these words.
Right. There's a kid that basically always follows when they go home to Zion. There's a kid that always chases Neo around, and it's because Neo freed him from the Matrix, but he didn't actually free him from the Matrix. The kid freed himself.
Oh, I see.
So there was no, with that kid, there was no blue pill or the red pill or anything like that. He actually just woke himself up. But it was kind of like a lot to do with Neo. Again, it's just all that additional storyline that is not shown in the movie. So to get the full sort of thing, you've kind of got to play Enter the Matrix. You've got to watch the Animatrix. You've got to watch all 3 films. There's a lot of sort of additional content. And
it's kind of like that with like Star Trek and Star Wars, where you have to read like the multiverse comics and then the thing to see everything from every perspective.
And then I think in this game as well, there's like skills you can unlock.
All right.
I can't quite remember whether it's a skill tree or whether it's just at certain parts of the game, but you've got the classic thing like the bullet time. So it's called focus mode in the game, so you can sort of dodge bullets or jump around, and it's third person. So there's kind of like when you fight you can shoot people, or then you can just fight people like a Tekken style fighting. So especially when even though it's like 3D, especially when you go into the fighting the agents, it tends to be like almost like a 2D sort of thing, because you just tend to try and like kick them in front of a train or off a building or something like that. So you kind of make it like a 2D fighting platformer yourself, because otherwise if you start being too running around, they sort of get in the wrong position, and then it ends up being counterproductive to what you're trying to do. But yeah, it's it's fighting, it's guns.
No, I get that. It sounds like quite cool. The thing about bullet time, right? This has always been my thing, especially with that scene where he like dodges them by bending over backwards.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that was like, you know how like in Die Hard, none of the enemies can aim, and that's why he never gets hit.
Yes.
I feel like the bullet time was kind of a Matrix cop out for that. Like rather than having shitty aim, we'll just make the character be able to dodge them.
Yeah.
I always thought that was like.
I think when it's used when it's in game though, you just do tend to abuse it.
Yeah, obviously, no doubt.
Same as
have you ever watched what's the other one, Max Payne?
Yes, I was going to say Max Payne. Yeah.
All you ever see is them jumping to the side.
Yeah, you only ever jump around a corner in Max Payne.
Yeah, it's
not stupid.
Yeah. Admittedly, I need to watch a full Matrix, but I only think I've seen the first one, and only bits of that as well. I'm not much of a movie man. I'm pretty bad at them. But yeah, no, it looks like a great game, to be honest, from what I'm looking at right now.
Cool. Right.
Yeah. My game?
You go for number 2 then, yes.
My number 2. Well, I'm not going for a number 2 while we're on the podcast, man. Oh, come on. Okay. This one's going to be very referential. I have got Devil May Cry 4.
Ooh.
Right. Now, can you notice there's a bit of an issue there, Adam? What ones did I get in the first episode?
1, 2, and 3? 1, 2?
Just 1 and 2.
Oh.
So I've only got 1, 2, and 4. I'm going up in doubles. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Dead air. I couldn't find 3 to save my life, to be honest. Like I went. Admittedly, I'm a lot less places to go than you do. So I usually just go once a week or whatever to go and look for new ones. I haven't found 3. It bothers me. Still been playing through number 1, and then as soon as I get to number 2, I'm going to have to wait before I can play number 4, because otherwise I'm just going to be mad at myself. While I was looking at it, though, I did almost pick up the most recent one, DMC.
Okay.
Because I didn't realise, but it originally released on the 360, which is what I got Devil May Cry 4 on, by the way. It's the Xbox 360.
Right.
So not too retro, but I think we agreed it would be retro, so... because obviously not the current generation of console, blah blah blah. And then I noticed that they've released DMC for the PS4 and Xbox One as a definitive edition, like a lot of games are doing nowadays, which bothered me a tad. But yeah, no, I thought, why not carry on, because I'm going to want to play it eventually, so I picked it up this time. So yeah, it's Devil May Cry 4. I haven't played much of it. I think it's the same character. I think it's still Dante. I can't remember, because I feel this was the one I watched my godbrother play, which made me want to play the game.
Ah, okay.
So that's quite cool. And I know this one's a lot about hitting combos. Like, you want to try and get as high a combo as possible in this one, which isn't the same in number 1. Number 1, you still have the combo system, but it doesn't really affect you as much as it does in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's Dante and Nero, which are two separate characters. I believe they're against each other, but played through it too much to be able to tell you too much. Yeah, it's just, to be honest, the only reason I picked it up was to continue with the old Devil May, because obviously I bought the others. Going to want to play this one.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah. No, that's my pick. 360, Capcom.
There we go.
Pretty
right.
Self-explanatory.
So I'm going to jump straight in with my third game then.
Oh, damn.
It's PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
Why?
It's only Devil May Cry 3. Oh, this is awkward!
That's glorious. That is perfect.
Didn't plan that at all. Slightly awkward.
That's a bit awkward, yeah, I'm not even going to lie. The one I skipped and wanted the most, you got.
As soon as you said that, I was like, I've just had to reorder you've messed my ordering system up now, man. What are you doing?
Oh, god damn it, man.
So after so the story behind this one then is quite simple. After the amount of Devil May Cry talk in last Retro Roundup, and I said in last Retro Roundup, the
just annoyed and
I said after the last Retro Roundup that I was writing a list of games to get. Just happened to see it. It was fairly cheap. It was £2. It's in really good condition, actually. Really nice condition. It's not making this any better for you. It's got 2 discs as well. So there's like Devil May Cry 3, and then there's something called Monster Hunter.
Wait, did you just get... Monster Hunter's a completely different game, dude. Like, it's an entire different franchise. I think you've just got 2 games for the price of 1.
But it's in like a proper like split thing.
Well, I don't know, dude. Because Monster Hunter's a completely separate game.
I have no idea.
Google Monster Hunter. I don't even know if it's made by Capcom, to be honest, dude.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh, it is? Well, then maybe it's like a demo disc?
Maybe. Either that or Devil May Cry is a 2-disc game, and I've got part 1 and then another dodgy game.
Yep, sounds like it. I think it wasn't number 1. I can't remember. It's been a week since I talked about it. It's been a month since I talked about it. How many does it say anyway? How many discs is in it? Yeah, it's crazy.
Unless it was kind of just shipped with I don't really know. Oops.
Pretty unusual. Devil May Cry 3 number of discs. Maybe not. Doesn't look like him there. Nope. Regular 1 disc. No, okay, so yeah, no, it's meant to only have 1 game, so I guess either you've got a free game or you've got a demo disc or something.
It'll be a demo disc, because it's a proper, the proper split, PlayStation split, a split disc.
That's unusual, that's cool though. But you said that was £2, mine was only £1.50, so, boom.
Yeah, you take one. You can
I
have that.
Take the little victory.
You can have that victory if you call it that.
I'm proud of it. I'm happy.
Good for you.
That's good. That's actually really kicked me in the nuts. Oh, great. Have you played?
Where's all your trash talk now?
Well, it's still here because I haven't reached that game yet. Those games yet.
No, go for it. Go for
my 3rd game. Yeah.
3rd game, yes.
This one's got a bit of story. Right, so you and our friend Prowler are a bit of Magic the Gathering players, right? If I do assume so, right?
Yes. Prowler more than me, but yeah.
Yeah, but you still, if you had to pick a card game, you'd pick that one to play, correct?
Yeah.
Well, I bought this one along with Duel Masters, which was when I said earlier about it influencing my choice, because the card game I've always loved since I was a kid. Up until even now, I've been buying packs and stuff, is Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has quite a lot of games out, and this is one of the better of them all. It's quite an expensive one. This one cost me £8. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! The Duelist of the Roses.
Right.
And you see, recently I played the most recent Yu-Gi-Oh game, which was Duelist Generations or something. No, Duelist Legacy, where you play through the story of all the games. Now this one's only from the original series. And I thought I'd pick it up because I like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, obviously, and my neighbour does as well. So what we've done with this game since buying it is he's come round and we've plugged in a second controller and actually played against each other.
Oh, cool.
Proper. So, and it's a lot more fun than playing it over the internet on the newer games. So it's been really fun to actually play and sit down with. My only annoyance with it is it's meant to come with 3 cards. And these 3 cards are some of my favourite cards that have ever existed. So if I could have got the older printed versions of these, I'd have freaked. And it was the original 3 Magnet Warriors, which are Alpha, Beta, and Gamma. I've actually got a statue of Gamma, and I would really love to get it, and I didn't, and I was so upset about it. But there's not much you can do, obviously. It's quite an old game. I don't know when it was released exactly. While I read the back of the case. He says while he reads the back of the case. I think 2004, from what I can see. So, yeah, I can't be too upset, because obviously the chances of me getting those cards are... I
was going to say, it's the same as you. It's the same as the other game, though, isn't it? The second-hand games, and
but these ones are probably worth a bit even more.
The thing is with that, you need a collector's condition type deal. Do you know? You're not going to get it from a second-hand shop. I think any game like that needs to come from like a retro store.
Yeah, but there's not many of those where I am. That's my issue.
I don't think there's any of those anywhere.
Yeah.
They are very few and far between. And then you have to kind of watch out as well, because there's that big thing going on in America, isn't there, at the moment with the... I can't remember the store's name, probably not best to say it anyway. But there's a certain store in America that are taking advantage of the retro gaming...
Boom.
Yeah. So they're trying to jump on the bandwagon, and they keep rising the prices and pushing them stupidly high.
Yeah.
And then sometimes a lot of the thing with in the retro games is going and trying to find them in the stores, because anybody could use eBay. I'm not saying eBay's not a bad thing, or Amazon or anything like that, but there's just something different about going and buying, going to a store and
obviously,
even if it's a market or a car boot or anything like that, charity shop, thrift store.
It's kind of because you can pick up the game, check it out, make sure it's all right.
Yeah,
and then you suddenly have this bit more confidence.
Although the stuff the things I have ordered offline at the moment have been better quality.
Yeah.
So, because everybody's so worried about getting bad reviews and things like that, it's I have noticed the stuff that I get offline has been better quality than some of the stuff in the stores.
I just looked up one of the Magnet Warriors. I looked them up, and there's only one of them, which is Alpha. Right. It's £2.08, translated from $2.69, and its shipping is $20, which goes down to £15. And that's only for one of the 3 cards.
The actual price on the card, but if you can get that, if they're the price of the cards, then that's quite reassuring. That if you can actually get that card,
it's in trader's condition, high call.
But say that's only £2,
That's not too bad, yeah.
You just have to wait around for it to be available in this country, so you're not paying extortionate shipping costs.
That's the main thing, yeah. So. But yeah, that was cool. I was just one of those games that I've been playing this new one so much with my friends that I was kind of like, look, I'll buy this old one, and we can actually sit around and play it like we would the actual card game.
Yeah.
Because the thing with the actual card game is you have to actually own the cards to be able to do too much, and that kind of gets, it's just a bit of a money sink. So it's a lot nicer to be able to play it on a video game where you've got a lot of the cards already pre-there,
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah, so that was my 3rd game. What would your 4th be?
Oh, good. My 4th game.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's really, really close to my heart. It's one. I was saying before about the titles for the PlayStation 2. I didn't have many games. This is one of the reasons why I didn't have many games.
Okay.
So before Call of Duty.
Yeah. Which is obviously a massive. No one doesn't know.
Call of Duty exploded Call of Duty 4. They were the World War II ones.
Oh, I've got one on my shelf.
Call of Duty 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and they were okay games. I didn't really play them. I sort of played them in retrospect. Yeah. So I kind of played them after 4, and just because I kind of like the World War II genre anyway.
Yeah, see, that's a bit of a hit or miss for me, especially.
I don't know. I kind of like
Go
it, and you've got TV series like Band of Brothers and stuff like that are just
on.
phenomenal. And every time you watch that, you kind of just want to play a World War II game. So my fourth pick is Medal of Honor: Rising Sun.
Dude, I'm about to flip. Oh no!
So it's PlayStation 2, Medal of Honor: Rising Sun. Now, this game for me is massively special. So
it is for me as well. That's what's scaring me here. Dude.
Nah, this game is kind of what got me into, apart from Unreal and stuff online. This is what got me into console online gaming.
Yeah, I never got to play that. That's the bother.
Now, there's a few things with this game. So one of my favourite all-time games is Medal of Honor Frontline.
Yeah, I know that.
This is obviously the follow-up to that. So after you've done the missions on Frontline, this is the after the Pearl Harbor. This is the Pacific Assault. This is
you start
Rising
off on the boat, don't you?
Yeah, the Japanese
and
Empire sort of thing. Yeah. So it's the attack on Pearl Harbor and then everything else afterwards.
Yeah.
So big fan of the Medal of Honor series. Obviously played Medal of Honor on PlayStation 1. I've got Medal of Honor 1 and the sort of, it was kind of like the DLC at the time, but obviously old DLC was released on disc.
Yeah.
So like the kind of mini follow-up to it was Medal of Honor Underground, which followed the French sort of resistance.
Yeah.
And then you got Frontline, and then like Rising Sun. Absolutely adore this game.
I love that, yeah.
Now, a couple of things with it.
Okay.
This game has got to be, apart from Destiny, which is probably my all-time most expensive game at the moment.
Yeah.
This game, hands down, comes runner-up.
Right. Why is this?
So, you buy Medal of Honor Rising Sun.
Yeah.
Back on the PlayStation 2. It comes with network play. It's probably one of only 3 games that runs on network play.
Yeah.
How do you get it to work? Okay, so first of all, you have to go out and buy the network card.
Okay.
So I've now bought a game. I've now gone out and bought a network card. I've screwed the network card into the back of the PC. In fact, one nice thing about this, if I look at the insert, it comes with a little important information, online connectivity setup.
Okay.
What firewall ports does Medal of Honor Rising Sun use? So it actually tells you, like, in your Virgin or, whatever it was at the time, NTL router and things like that, you had to go in and turn on TCP port 443. This port is used for online connectivity for Medal of Honor Rising Sun, so that might be the Rising Sun servers. Make sure your firewall ports, TCP and UDP, are set to open both inbound and outbound.
Shit, we're getting words and sounds and letters just going off.
It's crazy. So there's like an instruction book on just how to set your firewall up for this sort of thing. So I've got my game.
Yeah.
I've got my network card.
Okay.
How do I chat online?
You need a headset, and there was only like one of them, wasn't there?
There was only one headset. That headset was bundled with a game called Sokum. Sokum
there you go.
Was overpriced because it came with a headset. So, having bought Rising Sun, having bought a network card, I then had to go out and buy Sokum.
Yeah.
I think it was Sokum Navy Seals, which is the first Sokum game. I had to go out and buy that, overpriced, with a headset, just so we could talk online. But that was the start of the, was the start of the clan, the whole gaming online, meeting up in lobbies, and and it was all the glitching as well. There's so many glitches. There was one map called Battleships, I think, or something like that, and there was 3 of the battleships in Pearl Harbor, and the gun turrets were pointed at each other, so you could run up and over the gun turrets onto each ship.
Oh wow!
And then there used to be a thing whereas if you went up onto one of the platforms, like at the back of the ship, like one of the they get like radar towers and stuff on the big ships and stuff. If you climbed up that, and then jumped down the stairs,
Right.
you could land on the rail, on the handrail.
Yeah.
You then turned round, walked back up the handrail, and you could jump off the back of the ship. So, like, not in the water, but like onto the like where the ship comes to a point.
Yeah.
At the front of the ship, you could get to the front of that anyway, but the back of the ship, you had to do this glitch, and then you could sit back there all day with your sniper rifle, popping people off, and just generally just glitching, and you know, just kind of everything that we do now.
Spawned from this kind of.
Yeah, you know, it just brings back so many memories of, like, you know, I did this years ago, and everyone thinks glitching's new, and you know,
it really is
spawn trapping people, and I was like, oh, come on, I've been doing this for 10 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, wow.
We invented this. We invented malicious gaming.
See, here's the thing. I know I can't win the reward for story on someone else's game, but here's the thing. That game also holds a bit of something in my heart. I never got to play the network play, because I never had a network connector. I never had to go out and buy SOCOM. I only played the story of that game. Now, here's the thing, though. I never owned that game. What happened was, when, I don't know, it must have been a few years after I had my PlayStation, my granddad bought a PlayStation. Now, when he bought it, he got a big stack of games with it. And in that stack of games are a few of my favourite games I've ever played, and I now own now, yeah?
Yep.
In that stack of games, there was Final Fantasy X, which,
nice,
as we all know, is bloody amazing. It's my favourite Final Fantasy game. Half-Life 1.
You're wrong.
Renowned. Shut up.
But
the best.
I'll let you have it. Go on, sorry. What did you say? Half-Life?
Half-Life 1, the original Half-Life game.
Yep.
Which I can say me and my cousin spent a baller amount of time playing the multiplayer map. It was split screen. And Rising Sun. Rising Sun. Wait, Medal of Honor, Rising Sun.
There you go.
Words. I sat and played that game, I don't know how many times. I think I've beaten those first 3 missions 1,000 times. Because
it is a good game.
What would always happen was, my cousin would come round. I would go home, obviously, after playing it for a day at my granddad's. And my cousins would be the next people to go there. They'd write over my save. Then when I came back, I'd write over their save and play again. And it was this brutal cycle. But that is a game that I also really love. It wasn't the same as you, obviously, with your whole multiplayer, having friends, doing things. But that's an amazing game. I feel like that's got a big connection with a lot of gamers, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If there was ever a reason to get a network adapter, that was a good reason.
Definitely. I feel the early Medal of Honor games were better than the early Call of Duty games.
Oh, hell
but then
Medal of Honor's died now, hasn't it? It's been cancelled.
Yeah, Activision really stepped up the game after
COD 4.
COD 4.
Kind of overshadowed any Medal of Honor games that came out.
Cool.
Yeah, but that's an amazing game. I feel like we could talk about that game. Rising Sun for the longest time. I think the only other one I played was Finest Hour. I think it was the only other one I played. Right, my next game, which is my 4th game on my stack. This one's a good game. This one's a great game. I feel like this one's very popular as well. It's Soul Calibur 2. It's a PlayStation 2. Have you ever played a Soul Calibur game?
Yes, I think so. I think I've played it on the Dreamcast. Is Soul Calibur the sword fighting one?
It's a fighting game, yeah, and you can have weapons if you want, and you can kind of like design your own. You can like take a base character model and change it to your liking.
Yes, I think I'm sure.
And they've always got really cool cameos. Usually, I think everyone 2 up have really cool cameo characters as well.
I'm sure I've got one of the flavors on Dreamcast.
Yeah, because in this one, it's the one that has Link from The Legend of Zelda as one of its characters.
Okay.
Which I thought was awesome. Now, I played this game years ago, I think, number 3. It's the one with Yoda and Darth Vader in it.
Right.
I remember playing that and wanting to play Yoda because I was a child. And I played that with my godbrother again. A lot of the games I played, were because of him, because he was that age that kind of had those cool games for me, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great game. And I saw this one, obviously. I had to get it. And I've got, you know how inside a lot of PS2 games you get like an advert for the guide?
Yes.
I've got 2 of those in this one for some reason. Clearly a mispackaging or something, because I don't expect someone bought a second one and put it in here on purpose. But yeah, I don't know. It was just a game I wanted to play through because the story is always very interesting in Soul Calibur, and then the customization. The most recent one, I watched a video on ages ago, and these guys were playing in the character because obviously you can customize your character. And they were playing with ones that were a bit graphic, as it were.
Yeah.
They had like knobs for arms and stuff, and they were just smacking each other to death. It was rather funny. It was very funny. But yeah, no, nothing too impressive. But yeah, Soul Calibur. I've not played too much of it. It's one of those games when I had the chance. Split screen fighting. But I like it because of the cameo mainly with the Legend of Zelda in this one.
It is a good beat 'em up. It's up there with the classics. Classic beat 'em ups. Soul Calibur, Mortal Kombat, Tekken. What's the one on Nintendo? Killer Instinct.
Oh, okay, that's on Xbox now.
Yes, it's quite big on Xbox, isn't it, at the moment?
It's a free game, so you have to download all the packs. It's got like Master Chief in it and Battletoads.
Oh, is that how they do it?
Yeah. But then there's Street Fighter as well.
Yeah, Street Fighter.
Yeah, so that's not much of a story. I feel so weak on story this time round. You'll find that you're tracking down certain games. I'm just buying what I get. What interests me.
No, to be fair, these were a bit of an impulse. They weren't. I didn't really go looking for them. I have a list of games that I would like. So, if I'm there and they appear on this list, then I get them.
Yeah.
I didn't actually go looking for them. I just went to see what was out there.
That's fair enough. You seem to get a lot luckier than me then. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That was my 4th game. Again, not much to it, but go on then. What's your 5th game?
My 5th game. No, this is a strange one. Well, it's not strange by any means, but it's a PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it is Tomb Raider.
Okay.
The Angel of Darkness.
Oh. Oh. I might have to move my pile around.
Ooh. Yeah, this one's big fan. I like the Tomb Raider series. Big fan of the Tomb Raiders. Currently playing through the new one on the Xbox One. I really like Tomb Raider Anniversary. I love the old ones. This one I've never actually played.
Yeah.
So I saw it and I was like, oh, should I get it? Should I not? And I'd never played it, so I was like, yes, definitely.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like, Tomb Raider is a great game, no matter what you say. Like, it will always be a great game. It affected
I think there have been some poor additions to it. I don't know whether this is one of them. Probably,
yeah.
There has been some curveballs in the series, and it kind of has been rebooted a few times, and
maybe a few too many times. Is the worry. But it seems to be
for the first time ever, Lara Croft, the world's most famous video game heroine, bursts onto the PlayStation 2 in her biggest adventure yet. So it's the first PS2 one. Did not know
intriguing. Because I know the original was a PS1 game, wasn't it?
I think Tomb Raider 1, Tomb Raider 2, they were PS1. Anniversary, I think, was a 360 and like a PlayStation 3 game. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Fair enough. Well, I'm going to cut you off now.
Go
into my 5th game. Tomb Raider Anniversary. No, but wait. Collector's Edition.
More. Ooh.
So I've got the soundtrack, artwork, and the game in a fold-out case with artwork in it. I've even got the manual, and I've got the entire game. What's
that for? What form? What?
PS2.
Oh, it is PS2, so they did bring Anniversary out on PS2.
So it's the anniversary game, obviously. And I feel like I've played this one because I know I played a few when I was a bit younger, and I know I've got one for PS2 down there. Not that I remember. I can't read it from over this far away. But yeah, I saw it and I had to get it because there's collectors on it. This is a collector's show. And I was like, wow, it's got everything. All the discs are really well kept. The entire inside case, like the outside cardboard is a bit rough around the edges. But the actual box itself, all the plastic's clean, the discs are nice. It has the soundtrack and both the bonus disc and the soundtrack. It has the game, obviously. And the manual, and it's got all this really awesome artwork of like dinosaurs and gorillas, because they're some of the things you fight in the game. I don't know. I freaked when I saw this because I thought it was such a good pick. You know?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just looking now. The Angel of Darkness, I think, was the last one to come out on sort of like PS2 alone. So I thought Anniversary was out on the newer consoles as well, and it was. Right, it's actually out on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 as well.
I see.
So you've got, after the Angel of Darkness, let me just double check. Yeah, PlayStation. That one was only PlayStation 2 and Windows. So after that, you've got Legend, Anniversary, and Underworld. They're like the next. You go Tomb Raider 2, 3, Last Revelation, Chronicles, Curse of the Sword, Prophecy, Angel of Darkness.
Yeah.
And then after that, in fact, actually, Prophecy, they were Game Boy games. Wow. Then after that, there's like a 2-3 year gap, and then you've got Legend, Anniversary, and Underworld, which all came out on PS2, 360, and PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
And then you start going on to. They kind of went on a bit of a tangent because you've got the Guardian of Light, which is when they changed the format a little bit. I think, if I can remember rightly. And then that's just PS3 and Xbox 360. So then that's when you start going on to the next gen stuff, like when they sort of drop the old gen, if you like.
That's fair enough.
But no, that's good. A good catch with the collector's edition.
Oh yeah, I was really happy when I spotted the collector's part of it, because obviously I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Yeah, I feel like most of us are nowadays, especially with all the new games, special editions, collector's editions, mega editions, everything. We're all suckers for it.
Yeah, it's good when you used to get that sort of stuff, because now a lot of the collector stuff comes with like digital bonuses, pre-order bonuses. It tends to be more like pre-order bonuses now rather than
which is a bit scumming, to be honest.
I don't like it. I prefer cases. I don't like download games.
No, one of the big deals with or one of the bigger stories about pre-order recently was the kerfuffle with the new Deus Ex.
Oh right, okay.
Because they said they were going to withhold content if certain pre-orders weren't met. Kind of. So they said, like, if 1,000 people pre-order our game, we'll give you this mission or this character skin.
That's not how it works.
No, that should, you should just, if you
that's
pre-order
not how it works.
And it made a big deal, and then they cancelled the entire thing, so which was good. At least they cancelled it. But yeah, it was a bit wild. Bizarre. Yeah. I guess pre-orders weren't as big a deal back then. Nowadays, pre-orders are the only thing companies care about. It's the day one sales, nothing else, isn't it? It's not overall sales like it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, good pick. 9 out of 10 apparently, according to the PlayStation official magazine on the front. Yeah. I don't know, I picked it up because I'm a sucker for a collector's edition. It's a really nice condition, apart from the most outer shell. And who doesn't want to watch a 10-year retrospective documentary about Tomb Raider?
Well, there you go. Sign me up.
Sign me up. Great. That's good. It's got all the trailers on the disc as well from every Tomb Raider game. That's got to be an interesting watch. Anyway, yeah.
A little bit jealous.
He's googling it now. He's eBaying. He's gonna be eBaying.
How much was that one?
£5. Not bad at all. Well, £5.
There we go.
What a nice steal. So now you're 6th, I think.
This is my 6th and final.
Wow, I can probably squeeze 2 into 1, so I've got 2 games left.
Yeah. This one's a big one. This blew half the budget. The reason it blew half the budget is I saw this game and I was like, I would quite like that in my collection. It's been one of 3 that I've wanted for a while. And it had this really, really annoying thing. So I picked it up. It was quite expensive.
Would you like to divulge? How much?
The case was sprained. It was £7.50.
Oh.
The case was sprained, so the case didn't shut.
Okay.
It had no manual.
Oh God! Why are you spending £7.50, man? What was this game?
This is why. So, and I was like, and I put it back, and then I picked it back up again. And I was like, no, I've got to do it.
I feel like if you ever double pick something,
as I got to the till, I looked up on the shelf. I looked up, and there was a shelf.
Yeah.
And the same game was there.
Oh, I think you have told me a little bit this time.
And it had got a golden label on it. Oh. And it says collector's condition.
Oh.
So I put that game back, yoinked this one off the shelf. I've just peeled something off. Oh my word. Under the collector's condition, there's a label that says £25. What were you smoking, guy? Jeez. So there's like a label on the label, so it was £25. I'm not paying that for it. Yeah. It is an unsprained case. It has an instruction manual.
Even better.
In English. Oh, wow. In English, Dutch, and Spanish. I've just opened this instruction manual and someone's penned on it. Someone's actually written in pen. Now, this is really bad. If it wasn't for the fact that it's the cheat codes for all the levels. Oh, yeah.
God, I don't know how to feel they did.
Because obviously, I don't know if you remember back in the day, some old games. So now you're going to realise how old this game is. Some old games, because I still haven't told you 3 minutes into this conversation. If you remember, on older games, when you completed a level, it gave you a level code. Yeah.
The first game I ever experienced that on was Jungle Book for the GBA.
Yeah, same sort of. Yeah, no, the old cart sort of cartridge games.
Before saving, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Before saving. I've just noticed we're instruction manuals in English, French, Dutch, and Spanish. 4 languages. Quite a nice little, proper little booklet. So at the end of levels, they used to give you level codes.
Yeah.
So that's quite nice. So the collector's condition of this particular game was another £2.50 more.
Oh.
So it did steal half the budget.
I was going to say.
It was £10. But I'm afraid I think it was £10 worth it.
Was it necessary, was it?
It was Urban Strike.
Right.
For the Sega Mega Drive.
No, I don't know Urban Strike.
It was a sequel to Jungle Strike. So
what?
You just cane around in a little mini isometric helicopter and blow stuff up, and then if you press one of your buttons, you can go into a menu and you have to refuel and
I remember you
do little mini missions and.
Damn. Here's the thing, though. I just remembered. I've got the Jungle Strike for the original Game Boy somewhere.
Nice.
That's madness.
Apparently, it's a shoot 'em up of the year, 93% Sega Power magazine.
Oh, damn. Yeah, came out on the Sega Genesis 1994.
It's an EA game as well. Electronic Arts. It's when EA used to make good games. Ooh, controversial.
Not controversial. Fact.
Fact.
Factual.
No, it's just fact. So that's my 6th game.
That's a pretty good game.
Ending on a big one. Ending on I've gone full retro with that one. To be fair.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, mate.
For me, I've gone full retro.
I would not say that. Right, we've got a game. Right. So that was your last game.
That is my last
two more games to do.
That is my last game. Right. So are we going into your trash talking?
No, we're not. We're not. We've got one
still
more
not
game
there. Wow.
One more game.
Still not there.
My next one is PlayStation 2, The Bouncer. I don't know if you've ever heard of this game.
Right.
But the cover art looks like a picture of Cloud from Final Fantasy, because it is made by Squaresoft.
Right.
This was when it was Squaresoft, not Square Enix. Fighter game, kind of a bit open world. You run around, you kind of have to beat people up. Also got a bit of RPG elements, open story, kind of very Final Fantasy in just a different format, pretty much. I haven't played anything of it, but I saw the cover and was like, well, Square, what can go wrong? Am I right? Oh wait, there's a lot of Square games that have gone completely wrong. But what can you do? I don't know. I picked it up. Very interesting looking game. Another one with a postcard in it. So that made me happy. One of my criteria for picking up a game is the postcard. But yeah, it looks really cool. Apparently you can play a few different characters' stories, like what they're seeing throughout the game.
Right.
But you know, that was a good pick, in my opinion. I think that was quite a cheap game as well. It was £2.50 for that one, so it was a bit more expensive than most, but good pick.
Yeah, you'll have to see. You'll have to let me know what that one's like, actually.
Yeah, I want to get into it, actually. It's one of the games I bought for playing, as well as collecting.
Yeah.
Right. I think we're going to have to take a deep breath.
Right, now let's go into these games that you can't play because you've not got the console for.
But you'll understand once I've said.
Which is your ringers.
That's not. We never.
You can't start bringing ringers to the park just to win.
No, but I bought these because I wanted to buy them.
Go for it.
Playing them, I would have to emulate or something, just because of the nature of the games. I'm going to do them all at once. We have, drumroll please, Bridge Master, the classic card game. Wipe your sweat, guys. You ready for the reason this game is interesting? It was released for the Atari ST. Boom. My really excited one was 21st Century Warrior Apache Gunship, a simulator of the Apache gunship released for the Atari ST. I've just blown this retro game out of the water here. This game looks...
The Atari ST is in like the... Oh my word.
It's on floppy disks.
Where have you got that from?
We found this tiny little pawn shop in Aldershot, which is nearby to me. Right. And they had a whole bunch of classic games, and the guy in there was talking to me, and we were having a nice chat about all the retro console he owns. And I was like, look, I love the Atari. I do actually own an Atari, I just don't think it's the right one.
Right.
It's up in the attic at the moment. But I saw it. The cases just are those classic kind of cases that just make me happy. I don't know why. It just looks so cool. And it was one of these things that I was kind of like, I think it was called £3, this one, and it came with the Bridge Master for cheap. And I was just so happy when I saw it.
So Bridge Master's the one you got cheap?
Yeah, and then the other one is 21st Century Warrior Apache Gunship Simulator. The game is called Gunship, but it's an Apache simulator. It's all 8-bitty, and it looks like something you wouldn't even believe existed.
Oh, nice. Oh, I recognise the box.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that from... I'm pretty sure that was like a DOS game as well. Like for the actual Windows... I'm sure there was a Windows game.
It's in box, got the manual. It's got an overlay for the keyboard to show you where the controls are.
Oh wow! So you've literally got like a big box PC game.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
It's got a massive little fold-out cardboard thing that you put over your old keyboard, and it tells you like number 1, port engine off. Number 2, something other engine off. Tons of all the controls. Spacebar, change control. It's so cool. It was one of those. Even my mum was like, "What's the point in buying that? You know, you can't."
That
play
was
it."
released the year I was born.
Do you see how cool this is? Now, you see why the shit talking was alright?
Interestingly, that's out for the Genesis as well.
Oh, look at that. Doesn't have 2 floppy disks to run it though on the Genesis.
No, I imagine a lot of things don't require 2 floppy disks to run.
I saw it. I had to. I'm sorry. It's put me over my limit. I should have taken out some other games, but I had to put them all in this time.
That's cool.
Gunship for the Atari ST. There you go then. I thought you'd like that one, especially knowing it's a simulator for a flight aerial vehicle.
No, that's cool.
I'm so excited. He has a whole bunch of others in there as well, and he was even talking about a few that he sells, to people he knows. So
yeah.
Cross my fingers.
Nice.
But yeah, as soon as we found that shop, we freaked because all the games, even the newer ones, were cheaper than anywhere else we'd seen them. He had a whole bunch of stuff. He had consoles. I bought myself a new PlayStation 2 memory card from in there, which you don't see in shops anymore. Those kind of things. It's £1 for a new memory card.
In the little shop where I went, in the pound bin was a load of like rumble packs and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is so cool in my opinion. I mean, maybe just me, but I thought it was so awesome. So yeah, it's mainly the reason I say I can't play it is because I don't know if I've got the right Atari. It's going to be hard, even if I did.
You probably are better off emulating that. And I'm pretty sure you're legally allowed to do it. Apart from the fact that that'll be way out of publication anyway.
Yeah.
But if you own the original game, I think you are okay to emulate. I think the general rule of thumb with emulation is if you want to put all your eggs in one basket, just have the game.
Yeah.
And then emulate it on something. You're gonna struggle. I would try and emulate it on
Genesis, most likely.
Well, there's a company called which I found out about the other day, GOG.com.
All right.
And they republish games for like Windows 95 and things like that. But they kind of, when you buy games from them, you get them like in a little exe, so they are sort of like in a bundle, from what I can gather anyway. So they're straight to play, so it's like Windows 10 compatible, and you just play the game. So you don't have to start running DOSBox, or you don't have to run a virtual PC with Windows 95 running on it or anything complicated like that. You just, I don't think they go back as old as the Atari ST, but there's a few like just a lot of old classic games. So like the original Theme Park and the original Theme Hospital and things like that. They used to run on Windows 95. Straight up run on Mac OS X. They'll run on Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, and they've just repackaged them in X's. So I imagine what they do is the game's installed on an emulator, and then they package that emulator up with it. So all you get is a thing that works. And they're relatively cheap as well. They're like a kind of like a Steam game. So I mean, like Theme Hospital is £4.50.
Oh wow! I'm sure
there's lots of games on there that are like £8 and stuff like that, and there's a lot of the old publishers. But they kind of, I think, from what I can see, they go back to about Windows, not 1995, but Windows 95 games.
Cool.
They probably do some DOS kind of games as well, but
I don't know. It's just when I saw it was just that cool realization that this is an ancient game. This is like, in my opinion, this should have been in an antique store or something. It's that cool, and I just thought, well, on a shelf, this is going to look beautiful.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you want your big box games and special editions. It's going to look good next to your special editions and things like that.
And I've always loved those images of people with the collection for DOS games and for Mega Drive and all these things just on like a neat shelf for like thousands of them.
I mean, there was a bit of a charm of trying to get like an old DOS machine running again, an old Windows 95 machine running, and try and play those games, because emulating's not great, and it is good to experience. But then again, do you really want to spend
floppies is the other issue.
That's it. Do you want to spend 25 minutes, half an hour waiting for something to load? Emulation's a lot faster for that sort of stuff as well. So it can work out. It's not perfect, but sometimes,
I don't know. I saw it, I had to get it, in my opinion, because just as a collector, it's shone to me. I was like, I'm light in the dark. It was so cool. When I'm looking through shops for PS2 games, I find an Atari game.
Just out of interest, what's your oldest console? What's your oldest?
Well, the one in the attic, I think it's an Atari.
No, what can you play now? What do you have in your collection?
The oldest thing I can play is a PS1.
Oh, right.
Probably.
Okay. So you don't have a Genesis or a NES or anything?
I'm not a Sega guy. I want a NES, I want a SNES. Very much so, like hardcore.
Yeah.
But my first thing, I think, if I'm going to buy another old console, will be a Nintendo 64. So I can play things like Pokemon Stadium and Mario 64 and all the games I've played 1,000 times but want to play on the original thing,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the key with the 64 is just keeping your eye open, because unlike the NES and SNES, which are usually quite expensive, the 64s you can actually pick up relatively cheap.
With the 64,
if you go for the grey one, if you just go for the plain grey one.
Yeah, that's not what I want to do though. I want to get the Pikachu one to go.
Get the Pikachu one as well, but for just to get you up and running.
Yeah, that'd
just
be
get the grey one, because you always need your workhorse in your collection.
That's a good point.
You always need that one. I'd love to. I've got some of the Sega stuff. I've got the Genesis and things like that, and in fact, I've got two Genesis. Mega Drive. Come on, let's call it what it is. Yeah. Mega Drive, Master Race.
No, not Master Race, the Mega Race.
Exactly, Mega Race. So I would actually love, like with my second Mega Drive, I would like to buy, although they're really expensive, the Mega CD and the 32X add-on.
Yeah.
And so I can bulk one up as a showpiece, like this is the Mega Drive with all its add-ons. When actually I probably wouldn't have any games for the 32 or the CD, so I'd only ever play the Mega Drive games, and so I'd use my other one. So have one just as a showpiece in all its glory. And then just use the other one as the workhorse, the poor little one, the one that I love, doing all the hard work. Having said that, the Mega CD and the 32X are expensive.
Yeah.
The Mega CD, you're probably talking about £200 for.
That's fair enough. But it is that.
And a lot of people do actually also sell them together. So you get the 32X, the Mega CD, and the Mega Drive for about 300, 250 something. But that's money I haven't got.
you know the one thing I've been hunting for like a long time, don't you? The Game Boy player for the GameCube.
No.
I'm sure I've told you about it. I know my dad
didn't even know there was a Game Boy player for the GameCube.
Yeah, it's a thing that attaches to the bottom of the GameCube, and you can play your GBA games on it.
Oh wow!
And I've been hunting forever. The actual piece that you attach to the bottom of your GameCube is, there's 1,000 of them. They're the most common piece of the shit you'll ever meet ever.
Right.
The thing that's rare is the startup disc for it.
Ah.
Now you see, I can't remember. Don't hold me to this because I haven't actually used one. That's because obviously I don't own one. I believe you only have to use the startup disc once, and it saves to your memory card.
Okay.
Like a file. Because did you ever have the disc for PlayStation 2 to run DVDs, and it would kind of save a thing in your memory card that was like DVD player?
No, I never really bothered with it.
No, it was just because my one was more of a family thing, and my mum used to watch DVDs on it and stuff. So I think it's like that, and what a lot of people did was just not use the disc and then lose the disc.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to find. Like I was just looking up now. Someone's selling just the disc for £40 and someone's selling the complete set for 50. So clearly the pad itself is only worth a tenner to that guy.
Well, I'm just looking here. Game Boy Advance player for the Nintendo GameCube. So it's the add-on with the disc. If you can see that at £50, I'd click buy it now if I were you.
Yeah.
Because this one's on for 450.
Yeah. And the problem is you have to get an English one as well. You have to get a PAL one.
This one doesn't even say. I'm assuming it is because
this one's definitely English. It's got an old. But what's quite cool is the one I'm looking at has the old GameCube wireless controllers. because there used to be these like controllers you could buy that were actually like wireless, like the new ones.
Oh,
and
right,
he's got
okay.
them plugged into the front of his GameCube. Pretty cool. Oh. But anyway,
I never knew that was an add-on. I never knew.
It's because I like to play like Pokemon on my TV.
What did
like,
the SNES? What did that
had
one
the
do?
Super Game Boy. No, that was
did that just do Game Boy and Game Boy Color?
Yeah, I don't even think it did Game Boy Color. I think the NES did the Game Boy and then Game Boy Color and Game Boy.
Wow,
on
you can
SNES.
get a Game Boy Advance cable that links your Game Boy Advanced to your GameCube to
Got one of them?
make it as a controller.
Yep. There's a
see, I've never been a Nintendo person, so like most of my, like I'll get the Nintendo stuff, but
yeah. You know the Final Fantasy Chronicles games?
Yes.
The original one for that on the GameCube, you had to have 4 Game Boys connected to play. Because what it used to, you played 4-player in it,
right?
And you had to have 4 Game Boys because each person would manage their character on their Game Boy, kind of like a D&D kind of game. Which I would love to be able to do. I don't know if that's just me, but it sounds like such a sweet idea, having you set up your party and play through a game. Pretty cool idea, isn't it?
Sounds cool.
See, the one thing that makes me sad is I originally had one of the official Nintendo cables, but the one I've got right now is a off-market one.
Yeah.
So it's just a bit annoying, but it's kind of hit on me. Do I want the cable or do I not? It's kind of the deal with that kind of cable.
Yeah.
So, and I was so desperate for it because I have a game called Pokemon Box, which used to be a storage thing for the old GBA titles.
Okay.
You can actually play Ruby and Sapphire through that, like you could with a Game Boy player.
Nice.
So I kind of bought it and was like, look, I want to use it for this purpose. And if you didn't know, my favourite game is Pokemon Colosseum. And obviously playing through that, I get all these cool Pokemon. So I wanted to transfer them to my game so if I ever reset it, it doesn't hurt me as much, you know?
Yeah.
That's the deal. But that's the one thing I've been hunting for a long time.
Cool.
So yeah, they're all my games. We now need to do dredging, I believe.
Yes, time for the scores.
I've added up all my scores on a little old envelope here.
Okay, so you know what you're doing, so we can just go through them from start to finish.
Should be able to. Give me one moment while I quickly add up my total score.
Okay, cheapest game. What was your cheapest game?
My cheapest game was Bridgemaster for £1.
Bridgemasters for £1. Mine, strangely enough, was Medal of Honor Rising Sun.
For?
75 pence.
Okay then. Goes to Adam this time. That's surprising though. 75p.
I know. The best game I've got.
That one's
amount of games, I got 6.
I got 7. That's to me.
Ooh, just. Oldest game. You're in 1986. I think mine was 1994, so you get that one.
I get that one.
Best reason for buying.
I don't know. I feel like your Rising Sun beats out my gunship.
Your gunship being because you spoke to some old bloke and it was cool.
It wasn't that old. It was a bit chubby.
Well, if he watches this, that's your price is going up next time you go in there.
I don't know if he.
Okay, so my Medal of Honor.
I'll give you that one. Yeah, you can have that one.
Metacritic score.
I maxed out. Well, how do you want to do this? Who wants to say first? Or shall I?
Metacritic score?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. You go first.
I maxed out at 521.
Ooh.
And you were?
445.
I win that one. Oh shit!
That's easy. Right.
Total
spent. Yeah. So this is the closest to £20.
Yeah. So how much did you spend?
How much did you spend?
No, I did the last one first. You do this one first.
I spent £21 and 25 pence.
Shit. 24. Fuck my life. Did that split us halfway? Oh.
But if you'd have, it's a draw again. But if you'd have gone the other way,
yeah.
If you would have taken games out to reduce the cost,
I'd
you'd
have
have lost on amount of games. So,
right then, are we going to introduce this new game mode?
So the new tiebreaker, the new game mode, the DLC has been installed.
Dice roll simulator.
It's the dice roll simulator.
Dude, every game needs that.
I agree.
Yeah, just for settling disputes.
So the way the tiebreaker is going to work is we're going to roll a dice. My dice of choice is going to be Google's very own dice roller.
Oh, do you not want me to roll the one I had sat in front of me for like 2 minutes and now I've lost?
I kind of don't trust you.
That's fair enough. I don't trust you either.
I'm trusting Google.
That's fair enough.
Right now. So Google dice roller.
Would you like to explain the entire scenario first, though?
Right. So we're going to roll a dice.
Yep. A 6-sided dice.
A 6-sided dice.
Indeed.
On odd numbers.
Yep.
We're going to go with whoever's got the worst game gets a point. On an even number, the best game gets the point.
Right then.
Rolling.
Keep rolling. Right. Sorry, copy. What do we get?
4.
Even.
So we're on even. So it's the best game. That's good because odd you'd have won with that dodgy bridge game.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say your best game is?
I'd say collectors wise, I'd say Tomb Raider. Just because it's a large collection, and if it wasn't Tomb Raider, it would have been Gunship. But Gunship, the main thing with that is it's
the main thing with that is it's old, isn't it? Yeah. So, see now, I think for classic sort of for retro and just because it's a great game, although it is a sequel, I would put Urban Strike up as my best.
Really? Oh.
But then that means I've got it actually says on it, shoot 'em up of the year. 93% on Sega Power. Although I imagine Sega Power magazine is a bit biased as it's a Sega game.
Now you see the thinking. Right.
See, Tomb Raider is yes, it is a good game and it's part of a big franchise, but it's a very new game. Although you have got it for the old platform and it is the collector's edition.
Yeah. So, would you agree with my choice?
I'd agree with your choice being the best one out of your stack.
Yeah.
Again, but...
so, are we in agreement?
I think, best game. Anniversary.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, because
Adam is the... Well, no, Adam.
Yes, exactly. Adam's the
winner.
Biscuit
is the winner.
Yes!
Should just be the Adam and Adam show.
So this month goes to Cheezy.
Nice. Well, thank you very much for that.
Well,
Cheezy Biscuit wins.
Cheezy Biscuit wins. Yeah, your trash talking was rightfully deserved. However, you didn't win with that game, so...
No, but I bought them at the same day, so I knew all the games in combined which would beat you.
Still anyway. Talking trash and on a technicality.
It's been great. Let's put it at that, yeah? I think that was a good episode too. What do you think, Adam?
I think it was a great episode. Oh, like I said, I was looking forward to the episode.
I know, me too.
You trash talk, and to be honest, that the Tomb Raider anniversary, it's the collector's edition. It's blown me out of the water. It's very jealous.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Very impressed. Very impressed.
Retro roundup of August. 2nd episode, going strong. After 100 episodes, we'll be sick of this thing.
Yes, indeed. Please like, comment, subscribe.